Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. Great article here from PC Magazine. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So, with everything that T-Mobile has announced up until this point, with all the success that they've enjoyed, all the public comments and how they speak about themselves, I know I already made a prediction video last year about T-Mobile and how I think they're going to fare going into 2025. But I have different expectations now for T-Mobile. I have to hold them to a much higher standard. It's a must, for me at least. I have to hold them to a higher standard because now they're going aggressively at first responders. And it's not just the volunteers and individual first responders. No, they're going after literal agencies now. Big agencies. The first one, you can see it right here on screen. T-Mobile signs up NYC for T-Priority First Responder Service. About 40,000 first responders lines are now on the T-Mobile network. So we have to hold them to a higher standard, a much higher standard now. So what I look forward to from T-Mobile now, I'm looking, and this is at the quarterly earnings, right? You now have this larger network. You have this faster network. You have the slicing that's ready for prime time, according to T-Mobile. They've fine-tuned and tweaked this according to Ulf. He's in charge of the network. The voice over NR is ready for prime time. They have Starlink to fill in their dead zones, quote unquote. So I want to see lower churn now. I want to see it. Right? You say you have the best network, the best value. You're 20% cheaper than the competition. You're pushing that in your ads and your advertising. That's part of your go-to market on a national basis. I want to see lower churn. We have to start holding them to a higher standard. Right? I want to see lower churn now. Honestly, they should have the lowest churn in the industry with everything that we've been presented with. They should have the lowest, but it hasn't happened yet. But I want to see the lowest churn. That's what I'm expecting from T-Mobile. Then I'm expecting for all indoor issues to be resolved. I'm looking for DAS systems. If they need to be upgraded, they need to be upgraded to N41 5G. All of that needs to happen. Because now, I've said it to someone last night, T-Mobile really put their necks out there now. With this announcement, you're really putting your network to the test. It's always been put to the test, but now you're really, really putting yourself out there to be scrutinized and be talked about more publicly, right? Because you're now going after these big agencies. So, and not only that, right? You're going after enterprise. You're going after the big Fortune 100s, 500s, all these big companies. T-Mobile's going for all of that. They're going for government. So we have to hold them to a high standard. I just think that's the next, that is the only way possibly to judge T-Mobile now. You have to hold them to a higher standard. Right? Not saying that I didn't hold them to a higher standard before, but it was still like, okay, they're trying, they're growing, they're a scrappy competitor. But now they're like, screw it, we're ready. That's what they told us with this event. They told us we're ready. They put every single agency on notice. Come to T-Mobile, we're cheaper, we have more capability, we have more capacity. That's what the event essentially was last night. So any first responder agency, city, state, whatever, that overlooked T-Mobile in the past, they're going to look T-Mobile. They're going to give them a second look. And a lot of them are going to switch. So we have to hold T-Mobile to a much higher standard now. So when we go to the sporting events, when we go to the NFL games and they don't have a DAS system, they got to be called out. They have to be. And if they do have a DAS system and mid-band N41's not enough, then we have to call them out for the millimeter wave piece. All of that now has to be called out. we gotta talk about it, right? Even us on the channel, we have to call it out. And I'm not saying that this is going to stop their success. No, they're still going to have success. They're still going to grow. The stock's still going to pop. They're still going to get these agencies to join T-Mobile or T-Priority. That's going to happen. But what we do on the channel, right, as I've mentioned plenty of times in the past, we got to be honest. We got to be objective. And the standard, I have to hold them to a much, much, much higher standard. I just have to now. I know I very well understood what the merger was about. It was about them becoming a bigger company, competing better. But now, I mean, it's just they want to be Verizon now. That's pretty much what it is. They want to be like Verizon, so we have to hold them to that standard, right? And I guarantee you guys, once the Starlink beta goes commercial in July, and they have that figured out and tweaked, and if it's just remotely a decent connection, they're going to claim to have the largest network in the world. I won't put it past T-Mobile. They're going to say we cover 3.7 million square miles of the United States geographical footprint. If you are on the top of the Rocky Mountains, you can have a service as long as there's a clear sky. They're going to start claiming that. And they might even have another event for that. The Super Bowl commercial was huge. And that was a back-to-back blow against Verizon and AT&T. Back-to-back. The Super Bowl, boom. Now this event, it was big. People on stage crying in tears. It was a big event. But now I have to hold T-Mobile to a higher standard. They just put their necks all the way out there. Now we talk about the spectrum that's fragmented. We talk about that now. We have to bring that up consistently. We talk about, what about, like I said, underground? What about the DAS systems in the subways? We have to hold them to a much higher standard now, even higher than before. Because now these agencies are going to switch to T-Mobile expecting to get that experience that T-Mobile is talking about. The capabilities on 5G, the SA core, right? And all that is good. That's fine. But like I said, what if you go into that building and you don't have that necessary indoor solution? Now you're going to have a worse experience, right? What about going underground if there's an emergency and T-Mobile is not there? Now you're going to have to figure it out. If you're a first responder, you're going to have to go upstairs. You're going to have to try and maybe go ground level to get service, to call or text or whatever, right? So we have to hold T-Mobile to a higher standard. So what I want to see, what I'm looking for in 24 and 25 during the quarterly earnings when those numbers are released, I'm looking for lower churn. And if the churn is not lower, I got to let it be known that's a problem. It's going to be an issue, right? They can call it whatever they want. They can say market competition. They can say, well, pricing is up, right? Or whatever they want to say, but it's not going to fly by me. Lower churn. We need it now. It has to happen. Right? They're 5 years in on the merger as of April. They have the spectrum deployed at large scale. They have the value, as they say, the best value, best pricing. They now have Starlink that's going to cover any dead zone that's out there. Like I said, whether that's going to be a good performing network or not, I mean, that remains to be seen. But I know T-Mobile, and they're good at storytelling. They're good at marketing. So they're going to push this as if it was the largest network to ever exist. So just to prep you guys for that, it's coming. Trust me. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. I just wanted to make this video sincerely. You know, got to hold T-Mobile now to a higher standard. They're now the company to go up against. You know, they're no longer, they were still competing. Like last year, I still considered them an up and coming competitor, but now, I mean, they're putting their network on the line. That's what they're doing. By this moving into the first responder space, right, with as big of marketing that they've done, I mean, and I'm sure we're going to start seeing more and more of these T-Priority commercials too. They're putting their network on the line. We'll see, right? We have to give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll see if it holds up. We will see how many more sites get backup generators. All of that plays a factor. It's not just the speed itself. It's not just the network. You have to add redundancy, right? You have to have all of that. So we'll see if they can do it. We'll see if they manage at the 9 to 10 billion range. Like I said before, Verizon and AT&T have many other businesses inside the business that they fund. So the higher capex that they're spending goes to fiber, goes to international operations. So T-Mobile is fine at the 9 to 10 billion. But they have to build it now. They have to do the indoor solutions. They have to go underground. They have to do all that. And they can't just rely on Starlink all the time in case the native network is not enough. That's just not going to cut it. If there's higher population, they need to build out natively. They got to do it. They got to build sites. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. See y'all in the next one. Peace.